Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Terri Chiodo in the kitchen whipping up an amazing menu. We're making Middle Eastern baked flautas, served at the side of Mediterranean yogurt with cucumbers. This is one fusion meal you won't want to miss. We're cooking with some of the best chefs right here in our own community. So grab a seat, get comfortable. We have another great show for you. This is your Community Cooking. Hello and welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Jeff Kawakami. I'm here with Chef Terri Chiodo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, she did exactly what we've been asking you to do. She wrote in and told the producers, hey, I have this amazing recipe. I want to share it with everyone. And you did.
I sure did.
And they got back to you. So here you are.
It was so cool, yeah.
That's very good to have you. That's awesome. So, Mediterranean, Latin fusion. Tell me about the ingredients. Tell me about the inspiration.
Well, the inspiration is I cook a lot of Middle Eastern food because both my grandparents on my dad's side are from Syria. And so I grew up with Syrian food, cooking Syrian food with my grandma, and this was inspired from a dish that I make called Cumin that maybe another time I can cook with you, but this is part of that dish that I kind of created a Mexican flauta, and it's quite delicious.
I love that. All right, so what are ingredients?
We have, you can actually use ground lamb as well. This happens to be ground Colby beef.
Beautiful.
Tortillas, bell pepper, onion, pine nuts, of course, and several different spices, allspice, cumin, little garlic salt, pepper. Yeah, it's just
beautiful. Looks good. And what are these herbs?
This is actually a little mint. I use it for a yogurt dip, and I do sprinkle a little bit also in the meat.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah, the garlic and the mint, it's very indicative to that.
It is.
Yeah, to the Middle Eastern cuisine.
It's delicious.
All right, so I'm going to chop this up a little finer for you, right?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm going to start to saute the meat.
Beautiful.
Yep. Get that going.
So yeah, I love Middle Eastern, any kind of Syrian food. Actually, I have a friend who's from Syria. But you said, no, you said your last name is Italian.
Yes, my husband, I married an Italian, so he is Italian, which I also do like to cook a lot of pastas and Italian food as well.
Does your husband cook?
He does. I cook a little bit more, but yeah.
So you're the main, you love to cook, so this is like your thing. So.
I love to cook, and my family and friends really love my food, and
do you ever kick him out of the kitchen? Is it like your domain?
It is. You know how that goes being a chef.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have your space. You do it a certain way. And
well, especially when you're cooking at home, too, like sometimes you have a limited space. So you want people out of that limited space. Actually, I almost always want people out of my kitchen. It's like, unless you're helping, you got to get out of here.
I know they try to be helpful, but you know how that goes sometimes. Yeah.
All right, so you just want to get that browned in the pan, right? You're just breaking up into little clumps?
Yep. Just like, when you kind of do saute for spaghetti or anything else, I just go ahead and get it browned.
Nice. And
while I'm browning that, I actually am going to start to roast the pine nuts, because there is pine nuts in there. So we're going to get that going too. Yeah, and you don't want you always want to toast any kind of nut you have. I like to do that too. I know some people just add it right in, but I like to toast the pine nuts first. Well, I feel it really brings out its flavor, and you want to get everything like as flavorful as possible, right? Yes, definitely. I like that sound. I can hear a sizzle. That's what you want to hear, right? Yep. So traditionally, you've said you normally use lamb? You can, yes. Okay. Some people are don't have a taste for lamb, so. I know. I'm not one of those people. I love lamb. I think lamb is great. I do too. Yeah, it's so underused. And you have to be real careful with, as you probably know, when you roast pine nuts. They cook fast. Yeah, you can turn away and then all of a sudden they're burnt. So you really have to watch when you're cooking pine nuts. I've burnt my fair share of nuts, and especially like crostinis, like making bread. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I burn bread all the time. I usually have to set an alarm because I don't trust myself anymore. I know. I've done it so many times. And of course, pine nuts aren't cheap. they're
No,
they're
they
a little
are not cheap.
expensive.
Yeah, actually, yeah, most nuts are not cheap. You don't want to waste those. You got to take care of those things.
Definitely.
So this kind of reminds me of like, I mean, a lot of soulful cooking. You know, they'll do what they call a holy trinity,
Yes.
but you're only using the onions and bell pepper here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other aromatic. Well, you said you do. There's no garlic in here or anything.
You can add fresh garlic. I've done that before.
But what's traditional for you?
Traditional is actually just the basic spices that I have here.
Beautiful.
That's what I grew up with, so I kind of keep to the tradition there.
Nice.
Oops.
Just give this a little rough. I always get this all over the place.
I know.
It's not cooking unless you make a little bit of a mess.
Okay.
So when do you add your spices?
I'd like to brown it just a little bit more.
Of course.
Make sure I watch these babies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just gonna cook it.
I know, and every stovetop's different, so you don't really know
Yes.
how to gauge.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. Turn that down just a little bit here. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start to make sure we're okay here.
Yeah.
We're browning up slowly but surely. Okay, so I'm going to start to add some of the spices now.
All right, so what are you adding?
This is allspice.
Okay, wonderful.
And for anyone that doesn't know what allspice is, it's basically clove and cinnamon, and it's used in a lot of Middle Eastern dishes. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, allspice is its own berry, but it does have those flavors. And it's especially like sometimes when I make a moussaka, I'll put like allspice in with them, and that's usually ground lamb. And so like it's something that has a lot of flavor that can also be used in sweet things is really good. In savory dishes, like people wouldn't think to put like that in a savory dish.
Right.
Yeah.
It has a distinct flavor.
Definitely.
And most of the Middle Eastern dishes, some of them anyway, that we make have that flavor. I also add a little bit of cumin.
I love cumin. One
Cumin,
of my
yeah.
favorites. Yeah.
And this is just a little bit of a mix of that. You know, you can go to any of the Middle Eastern stores, and they have so many different mixes. This one is similar to the allspice.
Okay.
You know, adding it for a little flavor there.
All right.
And then, of course, salt.
Essential.
Essential.
Or it'll taste like nothing.
But don't overdo it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give these a little shake.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I got to get involved. I can't not be
Yes,
involved.
please. I don't want to burn those. Are looking good. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get this turned down here. All right, so we are almost ready to. I typically drain the meat before I add the.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Well, I know that you're saying your trick. You
Yes.
actually you use the container that
I
the
do.
beef came in
Yes.
to drain your meat.
if you can.
Yeah, of course. That's a great tip because you're just going to throw it away anyways, right?
Yes, that's right. Whoops. Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay.
No, that's a smart trick because I'm always talking about not wasting stuff. You know, not dirtying another dish if you don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
that?
And I just kind of smush it down a little bit to get rid of the
Yeah, the excess
grease.
fat.
Yeah, a little bit won't always is good flavor too. I'll pour that right back in. Now we're gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want things to be greasy.
Yeah.
That's what you're basically doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Put that there. And okay, so let's go ahead and add the vegetables. And let me see here.
Oh, that smells so nice.
Doesn't that have
Yeah,
a
it
nice
smells
aroma?
really, really good.
I know it does. And how do our
I
roasted?
pulled these off because I thought that they'd look nice
yeah,
and
they look.
toasted, and I
They
didn't want
look. They look perfect,
Yeah.
actually.
to. I don't want to. You know, you don't want to burn the pine
Yep.
nuts. They're expensive.
They sure are. They sure are.
Got to treat those things gently.
Okay. And I think we're good.
All right. Well, let me get our
We're good here.
cookie sheet.
Yep, get that ready. All right.
I'll take care of that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So this is good because it's going to bake in the oven as well. So I think we're good to get ready to roll them.
All right, well, yeah, I'll give you a tortilla. You show me how, because you're teaching me as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so actually the first thing we want to do is we're going to oil this pan.
Okay.
Because we're going to actually use some of the excess to baste it.
To get it
the
nice and
tortillas.
crispy?
Exactly.
Beautiful, all right.
Okay, so let's do that first. I can turn this off. Okay, so just go like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I like about this is you're not frying. But, I mean, in the oven,
Yes.
it's giving it like a sauté, so you're going to have the crispy sensation of if it were deep fried. But you're not going to have, like, all this fat's going to stay in the pan.
It is.
Nice.
And it will get crispy too. Okay, so what I do is I actually put the tortilla in the pan.
All right, show me.
So it's going to,
Yeah.
so I kind of go like that because
Okay.
it's going to get a little bit of the oil in it.
Giving it this with you.
Yep.
You want a spoon or spatula's good?
Yeah, no, this is good. And then just spoon. Nice.
That looks really, really
Yeah,
good.
just kind of like about that much. A little more meat in that one.
All right.
You want to do it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just gonna,
Just going to bring this a little bit closer now.
Yes.
Because I'm going to roll it. Just simply roll it like that.
all right.
And these actually,
Here, I'm going to put...
perfect. We don't even need toothpicks for these. These
Oh.
are staying together. Sometimes if your tortillas aren't super fresh,
Yeah.
you might need a toothpick to put in to kind of hold it together.
Excellent. So,
Yep.
just like you did, just roll it up.
Roll it up.
And of course, mine's spilled out because
No,
I'm always making
that's
a
okay.
mess.
That's okay.
Right here, I'll spoon and you roll.
That's perfect.
Teamwork.
Yes. Do this.
See, that's just like I was saying. Like, if you're not going to be helping me, I'm going to kick you out of the kitchen.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
There we go. Oh my gosh, it looks like you know what you're doing. It's almost
I
the
hope so.
perfect amount for all the tortillas.
Perfect.
Our last one.
And of course, if you get smaller tortillas, you know, you
I was
can-
going to say, these are some good sized flautas. Yeah.
You can even use corn if you want. Okay, so then what I do is I also just baste a little bit. Like these got a little bit more because they were the first ones.
Of course, yeah.
So
You want to make sure everything gets evenly distributed.
Yes.
Everything's going to get crispy in the oven.
exactly. Okay, perfect. Looks good. I think it looks good.
I think it's great.
All right, so
Yeah.
we are going to bake them
Bake
on
them.
400 for 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
About
Oh.
8 minutes. We'll check. You know, sometimes ovens.
All right.
7 to 8 minutes. We'll check them, and if they're looking kind of crispy golden brown, we're going to flip them, bake them 5 more minutes, and then take them out.
Awesome. Well, that sounds really great. We need to get cleaned up here, but when we get back, we're going to make a delicious yogurt cucumber dip for those delicious flautas. Do not go anywhere. This is Community Cooking.
What is the 2020 census? Every 10 years, the census records everyone living in this country. It's written in the Constitution and comes in a questionnaire that counts everyone who lives at your address on April 1st. The data can be used to inform funding for services like fire stations, schools, clinics, and representation that affect your community. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Hello and welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, I'm here with my friend Chef Terri Chiodo, and we're making some Mediterranean fusion flautas. So we got those in the oven. They're getting nice and crispy. Now we're going to make a delicious sauce.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to do a Mediterranean cucumber sauce that goes just beautifully with the flautas. Yes.
Wonderful. So tell me about the ingredients.
Well, you can use yogurt or you can use lebna, which is it's a Middle Eastern, very rich, thick yogurt.
So much thicker.
Yes, and probably not super healthy, but so good. It's delectable. It really is. So
It has probiotics.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm like, it's
Yes.
probiotics.
Yes.
It's a little healthier.
So so basically, if you want, let me mention the Persian cucumbers.
Yes, there's a difference.
There is.
Yeah.
I like to use Persian cucumbers because they're not bitter and they easier to sometimes work with. You don't have to peel them, and you do have to watch out though. They if you buy them and put them in your fridge, within a couple days they can get bad. So you have to use them pretty quickly. So yes.
All right, and
So
then what else do we got here?
we have fresh mint, salt, pepper. This is also a little cheat. It's mint, but it's you can go in the Middle Eastern store and it's called yogurt dip mix. You know, spice basically. Add a little bit of that, lemon, garlic, salt, pepper, and that's it.
That sounds super
Yes,
easy. So
great.
let me get cutting on these cucumbers.
All right.
Yeah, what I like about these is you don't have to peel them because the skin is much thinner. And the seeds are tiny, so it's not going to be like too watery. I think that's the problem when you have too many seeds and other stuff. It becomes too watery.
Yes.
Now, this kind of reminds me of a tzatziki sauce. It's very similar, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. But like I said, you can use. We're going for it today with the thick. But you can use Greek yogurt, plain yogurt. Yeah.
Well, also with the lebna, it's smoother than Greek yogurt, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
it has
it
like
is.
the consistency is a little better.
It is for sure.
Would you like me to put
Yes.
right in
Yeah,
there?
let's do it. I think that's gonna be great too.
Right. More?
Just a little bit. That's it. That's good.
Okay,
That's good.
this is actually a good lesson. Just because you have everything doesn't mean you have to add all of it.
That's
right?
true. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Because a lot of people, they just try to add everything because they have everything and they're just going to dump it in there. You don't need to do that.
You don't. I'm gonna now just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper,
Beautiful.
and just a little bit of garlic salt as well. And some of this yogurt dip mix is basically mint and a few pepper, a few spices in there.
Ready for a little mint? A little
Yes.
fresh mint?
Yes,
So a
perfect.
little double hit.
I love, and lemon.
Nice.
And I love these little
It
lime and lemon.
smells so fresh.
Doesn't
right
it?
Now. Yes.
I know. So I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon in there. That should be good. Okay, let's mix that up.
All right. And now with the flautas, because those are in the oven, we do have to turn those, right?
Oh yes, after is our
Let me
8
get you a little
minutes.
Let me double check. Let me see if it's getting crispy.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to flip them?
Yeah, I think these are ready to flip.
Okay, perfect. And then we're going to go 5 more minutes.
All right. Do you have a spatula?
Yep.
All right.
You want to do it?
I'll get that, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, look at that color.
Gosh.
See, this is the kind of stuff that I love because
Yes.
you totally did this in the oven. You got some beautiful color on there.
Yes.
And I would highly recommend that someone else, use another utensil. I just have no feeling in my hands because,
Okay.
I've been doing this for so long. I always take stuff out of the oven and I'm using my hands and I realize,
gosh.
don't do that. You should use another utensil. Don't be like me. All right. Get these right back in the oven.
Okay.
All right. And you said it's just 5 more minutes to get them nice and crispy.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So the yogurt's ready. The yogurt dip is ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's ready.
And the
Yes.
longer that sits, the moisture is going to come out of the cucumbers, right?
I think so, a little bit. It should. So we
Nice.
should be good to go.
All right. Well, this is great. I'm really excited. So those flautas are getting crispy. We have our delicious yogurt sauce made. When we come back, we're going to do my favorite thing, and that's the tasting. You're watching Community Cooking. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Community Cooking. I'm with my friend Terri Chiodo, and you just made this amazing Mediterranean-inspired flauta with this delicious cucumber dip. I mean, I'm really excited about this.
Well, dig in. I sure hope you like it.
Oh, it looks so good, and it's so crispy. And now, you said... Now, okay, we didn't show this, but we sprinkled a little Syrian cheese on top.
Yes, yes, you can use, well, Syrian cheese is sometimes hard to find, but there are some markets in the South Bay that do carry them, and some of the Middle Eastern stores. Just crumble it and sprinkle it. It's a mild but tasty cheese that's really good.
Yeah, I love how crispy this is from the oven.
Good. It's kind of finger food. You can, you know, put a little of the yogurt on it, get a nice bite. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is amazing. This is delicious. You definitely have to try this at home. And you wrote in and were like, hey, community cooking.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I have
really
recipes. No,
Yeah.
this was really cool. Thank you so much. These recipes were delicious. I hope you try them at home. And from myself, Terri, and the crew, thank you so much for joining us on another fun episode. Remember, some of the best chefs are really right here in our own community. We'll see you next time on Community Cooking.
See ya.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.